Hey everybody, it's Trigger Bar Philosopher. Welcome back out to the channel. Today we're going to be taking another look at 460 Rowland. Today we've got some reloading to do and test with our pistol and our rifle. Should be a good time. Let's get to shooting. All right, well, what are we going to be talking about? We're going to be talking about the Ruger LC carbine, chambered in 45 ACP, which really has been rechambered by the folks out at 460 Rowland in 460 Rowland. What that means is that a 1/16 inch extra case length was put into the chamber, so the chamber is just really just 1/16 inch longer. And they've done some other things to it to improve it so it can handle the recoil of 460 Rowland. Now 460 Rowland is quite a bit more pressure, velocity than a traditional 45 ACP. This was invented by folks in the 1990s, Clark's Customs, Johnny Rowland, so on and so forth. Well, today we're going to be taking a look at some reloads. Now 460 Rowland has some manufacturers, folks at 460 Rowland themselves, Underwood, Buffalo Bore, Wilson Combat, Area Engineering. There's a number of folks like that that are manufacturing 460 Rowland cartridges. Now what we have today though is that sometimes I found with hollow points, now why are you going to use a hollow point with a 460 Rowland? Wouldn't you want to use a hard cast? Yes, but I have tested jacketed hollow points. They tend to just break apart because they were really built for 45 ACP. So a few things we want to test today is a hollow point that is from Speer Gold Dot. It's a bonded hollow point, so I'm wondering if that will perform a little bit better. And then we're also going to be testing a .452 454 Casull bullet. It's the 45 Magnum XTP, and I have tested some rounds in that, but I want to do some of my own testing with it. And then also we're going to be taking a look at a new offering from Lehigh, which is their Extreme Defender in 135 grain screw tip in their Extreme Defender line, if you will, that Underwood typically loads. Now Underwood doesn't load in the 135 grain, so I'm going to be doing some loading. Now we're building our loads up. This is not a gel test. This is like, oh, this round's the best. We're just going to be going through our reloading process. I've already loaded the ammunition. I've got a little bit of a ladder going. We're going to be getting it on our Garmin Zero for some speed and velocity tests. We're going to check the cases. Are we overpressured? We test mostly in the pistol, but also with the Ruger LC carbine. I have also my FNX Tactical in 45, but it's also been rechambered to 460 Rowland. I did not modify either of these guns. I bought them like this from the manufacturer, quote unquote, or the company that's creating them, and that is 460 Rowland. So none of these guns, YouTube, have been modified in any way, heaven forbid. So we're going to be testing it first off in the pistol so that we see, because that's the load data I have is relative to a 5-inch barrel. This is slightly longer than a 5-inch barrel. But from there, we'll also do some tests to see how it performs and scales up with the rifle with just a couple of shots. All right, so that's our testing regimen. Enough yapping, let's get shooting. Well, the powder that we're using today is CFE Pistol, and again, Starline brass, large pistol primers. And we're going to start off with just 9 grains, and we'll see how that goes. And then we'll go up one round to 9.5 and one to 10. And this is, again, according to the manual. 10 is what the manual says, so I'm going to start below it and then work my way up, and we'll see how that goes with the pistol. $10.99 for an average kinetic energy of 536. So that's, you know, like plus P ammunition. This next one is 9.5 grains. $11.89, 628 kinetic energy. Now we're going to go to 10. And $12.18 going up to 659 kinetic energy. Let's stop, take a look, see if we can see that brass. All right, well, these are the 3 cases. I don't know in any order that they were shot in. I still think we're below what we need to be at. I think the last one is what the book is saying is 460 Rowland, but I think that that's fine. I'm not seeing any case bulging in those. Primers look great. No flow, nothing happening with them. So looks very good to me. Okay, well, with that, I have a few more rounds of 10 grains. So we are going to continue with that. All right, well, I have 8 rounds left. So what I'm going to do is shoot 4 with the pistol and 4 with the rifle. We'll see what types of differences we get, and we see how the rifle likes this ammunition. Again, this is, for me, what I am looking for. This is on the very low end. This is more like 45 Super is what we're kind of looking at here. Which is okay, and maybe has longer life with your guns and brass and things like that. I want just a little bit higher, and I think maybe a 10.5, something like that, is something that we'll experiment here in the future with. Okay, well, we have here 4 rounds with the FNX tactical pistol. I have the Garmin set up, and we're just shooting to see what we get with the 4 groups on the average of the velocities here. 12-12. 1208, 1216, and 1219. Let's just do a quick look and see what our average was on that. So we had an average of 1213, extreme spread of 11. Average kinetic energy is 654, so yeah, under 700 energy foot-pounds. So we'll still have a little ways to go up with that. Okay, well, my mistake. Last 3 rounds, actually, I did scale up. They're at 10.2 grains. So we're going to shoot them out of this. The 4th round was actually a misload. It was 9.4 grains. So I'm going to keep that one off to the side. And we'll see what these 3 ones going up 0.2 grains. That's not very much. I really wish I'd gone to 10.5, but let's see how this does. 1235, a little bit. 1230. 1234, so very nice. Not much scale up. It's, it's 676 instead of 650. So again, we got to go up quite a bit. All right, let me take a look at that brass, which I'm sure is fine, and then we're going to move on to the Magnum XTP. Okay, now we have the Hornady XTP Magnum hollow points. So we're going to take a look, and we're going to be scaling it up from 8.8 grains of CFE pistol up to 9.6. We're going to do 4 here right now, and then have several of the 9.4 loaded, which is what I think about around where it will be, but it'll have to depend on what we're looking at in terms of velocities, in terms of pressure signs, things like that. Again, this is going off of data that is in published data. $11.09 and 656 kinetic energy. So that was 8.8. Here we're at 9. That's 683. That's 1132 and 683 kinetic energy. You start to felt that. That's 9.0. Now we're at 9.2. Now we're up over 700 energy foot-pounds. We're at 1156. That was 9.2. Now we're going to do 9.6. We'll see how that feels. And that's up to 942. Let me go check those rounds and see what the pressure, if there's any pressure signs. I'm going to check the cases. Okay, now we have 5 rounds of the 9.4 grains of CFE pistol loaded up into these XTP Magnum 240 grain Magnum cartridges. So we're just going to shoot these 5 and see how this rifle shoots it. $12.12 and 743. So again, more in the plus P kind of range, maybe SMC range. 803. And I'm reading kinetic energy. 1216 is the velocity. That one was 788 kinetic energy. That was 804 kinetic energy, 1228. And 807, 1230 kinetic energy. Okay, so we saw, what, 100 kinetic energy-ish more than what we were getting with some of these other loads. So I still think I'm being conservative and I need to up my game a little bit on these. The next one's an interesting round as I really want to take a look at these Xtreme Defenders from Lehigh. And they're 135 grain. Did I say 115 earlier? 135 grain Xtreme Defenders. Again, we're using large rifle primers, CCIs, CFE Power Pistol, and we're going to scale up quite a bit. This is all just a ladder load, so I'm not actually going to shoot any in the rifle today. We're going to just measure it with the pistol because that's the kind of the velocities and kinetic energy I know and is published is out of pistols and not velocities. And so since this gets to scaling and I don't have duplicates, I'm going to do it all out of the handgun. All right, let's get shooting. Okay, well, we have 10 rounds, and they're just a complete ladder from 9.5 grains to 11.3 grains of CFE pistol, and with this 135 grain projectile from Lehigh. So let's see how these done. We'll start off with 9.5 grains. That feels pretty light, by the way, and is not going fast enough to pick up because I set it up for the higher setting. Let's try 9.7, see what that does. Oh, maybe it was so weak. I got a stopper in it. It really felt super weak. So on this gun, just for clarity, what I mean by that is when you shoot 45 ACP, you're supposed to swap out the spring and take off the brake. My guess is these are slow enough that that is happening. So let's try 9.7 grains. As we get up there, it'll go. This is probably way too low for starting, but. See, now it did that. Still not fire fast enough to catch it. We're at 9.9 now. 10.1 now. This is now 10.1. Still not fast enough. 10.3. It caught it, but it wasn't fast enough. 10.5. So what that's telling me is that those were probably sub 1,100, 1,200 feet per second. We're now at 1324 is what that one caught it at. So now we're gonna go to 10.7 unless I had lost track. So 10.7. That's also 1324. Let's try 10.9. That's 1460. 1460. Let's see how many I have. So this is 11.1. I got off. So this is going to be 11.1 because I have 2 rounds left. So this will be 11.1. And I want to grab that real quick, put it on safe. That one's looking good. That's 11.1. This is 11.3. And we're only at 1408. So we're barely plus P range. We're just getting to where it needs to be. That's 614, so we're just barely getting into the range. So, okay, well, this is my process. There's not a lot of book data out on 460 Rowland, so I wanted to start really low, be careful not to scale up my guns. I actually think for these rounds, these are the starting levels for it. Hopefully this helps someone out there. I wish they were more, but that's what they are. Why don't we shoot this last round with our, I'm gonna turn this off so I don't mess up that recording. Actually, it doesn't matter because it's just a string, it's not a set. So why don't we have a 9.4 grains of the Speer Gold Dot. We'll fire that out of this rifle and see what it does. I don't think it's gonna get us there. Yeah, it's not even gonna record, but it shot it. Yeah, it didn't even catch it because it's going so slow. That means, yeah. So these Garmins have a velocity range. I chose an upper one expecting those 135 grains to exceed it. They were not. So I have more to do. We've got to figure this powder thing out. Maybe a different powder. If you're aware of a different powder I should use. This is what I had, so I used CFE Pistol, and it's listed in some of the books, and it seems to be doing okay. But we're not at the spot we need to be reloading at. All right, well, this is just a quick video talking about reloading 460 Rowland. We have two different, a handgun and a rifle to test it out with. Hope this was instructional. Do you use 460 Rowland? Are you curious about it? What's your experience been with it? This is mine today for reloading. I hope this is useful and informative, and I hope everyone has a great day, and let's get to shooting.
Out here in the heartland, where our spirits run free.
Sure.
Trigger bar philosopher, it's you and me.
Sure what I, oh.
From pistols
Safety
to rifles,
is
we'll
on.
take on the best.
Yeah.
Reviewing each weapon, put them to the test. With revolvers and shotguns,